Hello everyone, and welcome to the part 2 video of yesterday's video of taking a tour of the hangars at MSP, the Delta hangars of course. So this is the part 2 video to that, and super excited to get into it. Got a lot of great footage, and of course I'd like to thank OBAP ACE Academy once again for giving me the opportunity to get all this great footage. They are the reason that I was able to do this. If they're in cities all across the U.S. If you are interested, definitely I would recommend applying. They specialize in exploring jobs in the aviation industry, and definitely helped broaden my horizons and to discover jobs that I never knew existed. And they're for people who are interested in aviation, know a lot, or people who don't know very much. So definitely check them out. And once again, a big thanks to them. Without further ado, we'll get started here with this is the back side of the engine of a Delta A220 right here. And here is a A321, of course. So I was starting out here with two really cool aircraft. We'll see a lot of Delta Airbuses here. They told us they were replacing the gears, or at least the tires of the gears of a lot of these aircraft. So really cool here. Here's the A319. They're working on this one, of course. These we didn't get to go into, but we'll see another one later. So here they're working on the engine of this A319, CFM engine, of course. And now we'll move on to an aircraft that we did get to go into, and that is the Delta A220-100 or CS-100 here. And we got to go inside this aircraft, my first time ever inside a A220, but probably not the last. And here is the nose, of course. And there's the wing and the engine. Once again, you can just kind of tell that the exit door is open. We'll get back to that later. So yeah, I got a bunch of photos of this one. Here's another one. And now in the inside here, this is kind of what it looks like throughout the cabin. And there is the open overwing exit door once again. And I'll take a quick tour through the cabin. Got the Comfort Plus seats that we just walked by. And here is the overwing exit. So I'm hoping at least that this is the only time that I see an aircraft like that. But still really cool to see that. I've never seen that before either. It's not every day where you see an aircraft with the overwing exit door open. And as we walked further back, I did not know that the A220s were in a 2-3 configuration, so quite interesting there. Now go to the back, and here we see the galley, of course, and the intended jump seats, and the bathroom, of course, which I was tempted to go into. I wanted to see the window in the bathroom, but I decided not to go in there. And we'll go back through, of course, all the seats with screens, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but, I guess that it makes sense because this plane can be used for even long haul, well, not long haul, but medium haul travel. So, of course, all the screens there. And here is the overwing exit paths from the open exit. And then, of course, the first class seat on the A220. And then looking out over the wing here, we see the beautiful winglet and engine there. So very cool there. There's also a Delta A220 right there. Really cool indeed. And here is the slide, the escape slide, of course, all wrapped up there. And then the door window. And finally, we'll see the slide, or the door arming thing switch. And then we go to the cockpit here, and just like the A350, this is very, very detailed. Detailed. Yes, it's very advanced. A lot of screens. There's even a trackpad there. And I'm guessing the master caution there was flashing because the exit door was open. Of course, looking out the window here in the hangar, and there's the side stick, of course, which of course I had to touch. Couldn't put any inputs in, but still really cool there. And of course all the screens. There's a lot of screens on this aircraft. Basically everything is screens. Even the seats are screens. Even the floor is screens. So it's like a simulated flying experience. And here's the overhead panel. Like the 350, very empty. There's not too much there. And then, of course, there's the open overwing exit and the pitot tubes and the nose of the aircraft. Here is the nose gear. and of course the nose gear compartment right there, and that's why you don't want to stow away, because in the nose gear you'll get crushed, and in the main gear too, for that matter. Here are the fan blades, and then the what the inside of the engine looks like, of course, very high bypass ratio. And here is the underside of the starboard wing, and then the main gear. Here's an up close shot of the main gear, and the compartment, of course. How you can kind of see underneath the aircraft, and then this is the this is where the cargo door, and that's the pressure bulkhead on the rear of the aircraft. Of course, it needs to be curved. And then finally the APU right here, which they had open, which is pretty cool to see what the APU looks like. These are the fuel lines. They had one of these cap things open on the port side wing. Here are a bunch of parts on one big thing there. This is the dispatch center for Endeavour Air, so very cool to see there. Of course, Endeavour Air headquartered in an MSP, and this is their dispatch center. Here are all the Endeavour Air flights going around the country. And then finally, this was pretty cool because I thought this sign was funny because it said time since last cancellation. 0, nothing. Now we go to the Endeavour Air simulators. These are what they look like, and then on the inside, of course, you know, very similar to a real aircraft. Well, they have to be exactly the same. So these are, of course, the CRJs, and I did get to fly one, believe it or not, looking out the window here. And I wouldn't say that my landing was, butter, but it was a landing. It wasn't a crash, which I'll pat myself on the back for. It was an actual landing. But very cool, and glad that Endeavour Air allowed us in to fly their simulators. That'll do it for this tour. Good night. Auf Wiedersehen.